Greetings, comrades. I'm your host, Bobcat, here in the Art Minds Turbo Doge van on my way home from the day job. Forgive me if I break into a hysterical coughing fit. Been sick for a couple weeks. Not COVID, just, everything else. And I worked with some really dusty, moldy stuff today, so I'm dying here. But some good, cool news. And what I wanted to talk to you today about is commissioning. So, y'all know I'm an artist, and the way commissioning works is someone comes to me and says, El Gato, friendly Bobcat, I need some art. Make me some art. And they say, well, first I say, how much money you got? And we'll talk about money later. And they say, I got this much. And I say, okay. And they say, I want it to be a picture of a thing, of a dog. And I have this picture of my dog. But I want this picture of this dog to be in this sunny meadow of mountains or something. But you get the idea. You talk about what you want, talk about what it's going to be made out of, talk about the dimensions, how big it's going to be, textures, colors, subject, how long it's going to take. And once you all, you go back and forth and agree to it, I might do some sketches, some thumbnails, maybe even a couple of basic color things. Excuse me. And I say, okay, I'm going to make it this, it's going to look like this size, this shape, these colors, these textures. And they go, I'm going to be like, it's going to take me a month to do. And they go, okay. And they pay a deposit. I make the thing. I give them the thing. They give me the rest of the money. And that's that. Then they have this brand new, unique, beautiful thing. One of a kind in the entire history of our civilization. Think about that. When you commission an artist, you are literally invoking the entirety of creation by making something specific and unique just for you, or to give as a gift for somebody else. You can get things made for you. You can get things made for your house, for your church, for your city, for your neighbors, for your loved ones. But that's the basics of commissioning. And when you commission an artist like me, and this isn't to promote my work, this is for any artist. When you commission an artist to make something, and they make this unique and beautiful thing just for you, and you give them money, they use that money to live. And they use that money to make more art for other people. Because it's, if you like running a business, supplies cost money. My studio costs money to maintain and heat and cool. And, art supplies are not cheap. Quality art supplies are not cheap. My labor is worth time. I'm a skilled and trained and certified technician. Well, I'm also a skilled and not certified, but a skilled and practiced artist. So, what's that worth to you? So all these things, like all this stuff takes money, but we use that money to create. We don't use it to destroy. We use it to create and to make beautiful things for the world. And depending on the thing, if I'm doing some metal work, my metal flowers, those might last a few thousand years. Think about that. My steel roses, very simple. They're like, as of today, probably like $25-$30 just because of the time it takes to make them and the materials and all of that. I've got the process down, so I can make them pretty efficiently, but it still takes time. And so for $30, you could give a gift to somebody in your family that will last generations. Think about that. Generations. You could lose it in your backyard, bury it with a pet. An archaeologist will find this, 1,000 years from now. But that's just one example. You can commission anything. Also, it's not just painting. It's not just illustration. A great example of commissioning that you see all the time, everywhere, is wedding photography. These beautiful composed portraits of the happy couple and there are 1,000 bridesmaids, and smooching grandmom and meemaw and people's at the reception, and stuffing their face with cake. And the lighting is great, the composition is great, and they caught that magical moment. That's a commission. The bridal party has commissioned the photographer and maybe a team to capture the day and make them look really, really good, and they're really good at it. So that's one kind of commission. Another kind of commission is food. I mean, think about food is even actually a better example of a great example of a commission, because let's say you go to a fancy pants restaurant and there's only a few seats, or even better, things I love and can rarely afford but they're awesome, is chef's tables tasting, where you're basically sitting in the kitchen with the chef and they're making you great food and you're paying them for it. You're saying, chef, I want to commission this meal from you. Something seafood that you're really good at. And they sit there and they make it for you, and you have a wonderful time. And then you enjoy it, and your life is made better for it. My sister is a tremendously talented baker. She bakes when she's stressed, and she's stressed all the time. So she's really good at it. And in the Chesapeake region here, the Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, Chesapeake Bay watershed, there's a regional pastry called the Smith Island cake. It's named after the Smith Island in the Chesapeake Bay, and I forget the details of it. There's a certain number, but it's very, very, very thin layers of cake and very, very, very thin layers of icing that are stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. Maybe it's 13 layers, maybe it's 27, I can never remember. But it's really good. When it's done right, it's really good. And my sister does it really good. But somebody, I forget exactly how it came about, somebody said, hey I want to commission a Smith Island cake, because it's very labor intensive, and they paid a good bit of money for it, basically for her time. And it was amazing. I have commissioned some nice car. I have commissioned English muffins. That's what I was hearing. I've commissioned English muffins from my sister, because one day she made a batch of them, and I just happened to be over. Yeah, you're good. I just happened to be over and had an English muffin, and it was the best English muffin I have ever tasted. And go ahead, lady. And so, like, a few days later, I was having a wicked craving for these English muffins, and I'm like, hey, what can I commission? What do you want for these muffins? Please make me some muffins. I'll trade you, pay you, whatever. And I think I made some kind of pastries that I've made from fruits in my garden, and so we traded, which is another, as long as everybody's cool with it and it's fair, that is another perfectly valid way to pay for your commission, is through trade. I prefer to give money, unless the artist, because money is more versatile, unless the artist I'm trading with has something very specific that they want from me, which is rare, but it happens. I much prefer to give and to receive cash, frankly. But yeah, so I commissioned this batch of English muffins, and it was fantastic. Ate a bunch, put a bunch in the freezer. A couple months later, pulled them out of the freezer, enjoyed everything all over again. I love it. So, commissioning, instead of going to the store and buying some mass-produced crap, if you have a gift to give, if you have an occasion to celebrate, if you have an occasion to commemorate that you want to really remember, whatever it is, commission an artist. Many years ago, and hopefully I can find a picture of the final product, somebody I was working with found out that I was an artist and said, hey, I used to live in Ohio and I miss it. I've got all these license plates from my cars in Ohio. Can you make me something with these? And we talked back and forth for a while, and I said, what about if I arrange them and cut them out in the shape of the state of Ohio, with like one particular license plate right in the middle, and then the rest of them kind of all stacked around. Please ignore the squeaking of my brakes. And the rest of them all stacked around and then cut out in the shape of Ohio. And they said, great. And it worked out great. So, like, you can commission all kinds of stuff, and you can bring stuff to the commission. But, before I babble on excitedly about this too long, finally, another thing you can commission, and I absolutely recommend it, is music. Commissioning music is a grand old tradition. If you listen to classical music, Bach, Brahms, Beethoven, all these composers that start with the letter B, a lot of their works were commissioned, where, King Fancy Pants, Emperor, whoever, and Pope what's his name are like, here, have us some money, make us some music. It's my sister's birthday, make a song for my sister. And they did that all the time. And some of the best, most memorable pieces that we have in classical music are commissions. So I commissioned a song, and this is an important part. If you're going to commission something from anybody, whether it's paintings or metalwork from me, some pastries from my sister, or a song from this guy I'm going to tell you about, start the conversation with, I have this much money. I love what you do. What can I get for this much money? And be prepared for them to say, not a whole heck of a lot. But in my instance, I said, I wanted to commission some music, because I never have before. And I'm going to do this from now on probably a couple of times a year. I wanted some new music for background in YouTube videos, but also just to listen to going out and about in the world. And so I started with this guy. His handle on Twitter is DressSock. I've known them as Fleetwood DeVille, Morris Dusk, and their music is fantastic. Fantastic. A link to their Bandcamp will be in the description below. You should absolutely buy their discography. It's great music. It is unique, and they live in the DC area, so I was actually able to meet up with them and buy them a beer. How awesome is that? Pre-pandemic. And I decided I want some music for my videos, and I want to commission musicians to make it. But I don't really have a whole lot of money, so I'm going to set myself a budget, $100 a song, which you may think, wow, that's a whole lot. But then the song is mine, and I can do with it, what I want within the agreement of the commission. So I went to Mr. DeVille and said, dear talented music person, I have $100. I would like to commission a song from you, but it must have these 3 requirements. 1, must be instrumental beats. So because I'm going to use it under YouTube videos, it said it must be instrumental beats, so no vocals. 2, it must be 5 minutes long. Just 5 minutes is a nice round number, makes it easy for me to work with, because I tend to babble on in increments of 5 or 10 minutes. And 3, the style of the music, what I want to hear is something that is relaxed but steady moving. Go for it. And they said $100 will do it. And this is what they sent. They sent When I Get There outro, 7 minutes long. I think it may have been from their own collection in March, and it's really good, and it's wonderful. And I've listened to it probably 4 or 5 times by now. in different media, your earbuds, your phone, your computer, the car, and every time I listen to their work, whether it's this song or something else, every time I listen to it, I hear something new, some new layer, some new context, especially when you listen to it on different systems. And it was fantastic. So I'm going to do this again. In a month or two, when I've got $100 saved up for this thing, I'm going to approach another musician on Yield Internet and say, hey, I've got $100. I would like to commission some instrumental beats. They must be 5 minutes long, must be instrumental. I'm only going to use them on YouTube video stuff and, just for my own personal use and listening. But yeah, instrumental beats, 5 minutes long. It must be relaxed but steady moving. So, school bus. Oh, damn it. Here we go. Must be relaxed but steady moving. And yeah, so I'm going to do this from now on. And so, yeah, that's it. That's the cool stuff. I've commissioned some music. The sunflower stained glass window commission is underway. I'm going to do a whole video about that. And you should absolutely commission artists, whether visual art, a sculpture, an object to give, a delicious meal, or a beautiful song. You should absolutely commission artists. And this is what I got for me. Hope you're safe and well fed wherever you are. I wish you mucho, mucho amor. And check it out. From Morris Dusk, Fleetwood DeVille, Dress Sock on Twitter. This is When I Get There, the outro.